For the third time in ERL history, we've got a 21st race. Leclerc on pole from Falstad and Ica World. Then it's Pierre Gasly, Revo and Arfold Catfish, followed by Cable, Daf Sanchez, Pablo Sierra and Remy LeBeau. Then Tonali Gabo starts 11th from the Red Devil and Zach Wallace. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Xavier Kubica, Daniel Bogdasarov and Ray Shen. With Marcus Nelson, Arnett Babnis Jr., Scadolin Rossack, Carlos Masmedises and Verstio rounding out the grid. The atmosphere when racing at night in the Philippines is always magnificent. Can Oscar Falstad try and win today? All 5 lights go on. And we are underway for the third last round of the 22nd season of the ERL Formula E Series. As you can see, up ahead, Falstad being covered off by Leclerc as they head into turn number 2 and in through 3. Here comes Ica World trying to swoop around the outside of Falstad. He'll have the inside into turn number 5. As in fact, yes, that is Ica now going alongside his own teammate. Revo had a stormer of a start as well. He's made up some ground. Catfish didn't. He's dropped to 7th. Ica still alongside his teammate, now dropping nearer to Falstad, and he's lost time to him as well. Here comes Revo sending it down the inside. Gabo getting a 5-second time, obviously in 10th position. As you can see, side by side still, and into 3rd position for the championship leader, who cannot win the championship today, but if he does win this race, he will have a magnificent chance to try and take the cup next time out in Paris, as he goes alongside Oscar Falstad through the final sector. He's still with him. You don't want to go side by side for too long through here. And Ica's heading off. Ica World, track limits warning. And you saw a plume of dust being kicked up there. Babinus Jr. has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Catfish has found his way up into 5th. And as for the damage, Gabo has some, and I'm pretty sure he was the one to cause that yellow flag. But on lap 2 of 14, Leclerc leads from Falstad, Revo and Cable. 2nd down to 4th, all World Drivers' Champions. And as Leclerc sets the fastest first sector, we have breaking news. Remy LeBeau to move to Sims Porsche next season. The Frenchman deciding to move to the British-German team after 3 seasons with the magnificent Kiro outfit, as Revo up into 2nd position already after starting in 5th. This is an absolute stormer of a start from the man driving for the French-Chinese team. Remy has decided to try and bring championship glory to Sims, if not for the first time, then the 2nd if they get it done this season, but currently it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Seems like it's gonna be a 4th time round for the Revolution, as Remy himself getting a time penalty for colliding with the side of Pierre Gasly. Further back, yellows in that 3rd sector, and that is 2 drivers off. Marcus Nelson and Tonali Gabo both in the barriers, and Nelson, who will sit out next season to allow B-Dragon Sonic to get a conclusive end to his career in the ERL. That is certainly not what he would like to see. As Gabo coming in to get rid of that front wing and serve his 5-second time penalty. Gabo's race done. Sims Porsche's championship challenge effectively done. I'm pretty sure that Techeetah can win the championship this season, as Falstad and Cable getting a little bit of side-by-side contact. And if I can do a little bit of maths right here, 50, you get 50 points for the race wins after this today. As Cosmas Medicis getting a track limits warning, and Catfish remaining in 5th. Here's Gasly on the inside, and he's losing time to his countryman, to Ica. I was going to say his countryman in Remy LeBeau, but no, Remy's effectively staying in touch for now. No one really trying to go side by side through this part of the track or trying to go way too deep. As we know, full course yellow, out has gone Pablo Sierra. Where is Pablo's car? There it is, coming to a stop at the wall. That's day over for the Spaniard. Full course yellow's course. But to continue with my maths, as Marcus comes into the pits at the end of his 3rd lap, He'll put on a set of mediums. Leclerc still leads. Let's do a little bit of maths. You get 50 points for winning the next 2 races on the bounce. Add to that 2 lots of 18 if your teammate follows you in second, which is 36 points. There are 86 points left on offer after this race. Techeetah can actually take the championship. They can take the Constructors' Championship 2 races early, which I've rarely ever seen happen in the ERL in the recent history. Ica World track limits warning for the number 8. That's the second of the day. Babinis Jr. setting a track limits warning, and off the track has gone. Eyeing it, Babinis Jr. with front wing damage and a 10-second time penalty. Leclerc is being caught by Revo. As UK Ball, the man we're currently watching in the 89, he's beginning to struggle with tyres. Everyone beginning to show signs of wear if they haven't already stopped. Scuttlin Rosak, believe he started this race on the hards as Revo and Leclerc start lap 5. And of course, there have been seasons before where, yes, both championships have been wrapped up early. Yes, the Constructors had been wrapped up early. But there's a likelihood, of course, that Revo and Nelson, even if they don't score points today, as long as that gap remains as is, the championship will go to them. And especially if Catfish were to say win, as here comes Revo for the race lead through the chicane, forces both drivers off the track, keeping it. Oh, they're both in the wall! Falstad takes the lead. Catfish almost collides, does collide, and Leclerc stopped on track. Revo 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Kubica gets one too. Leclerc is facing sideways, and Revo has front wing damage in a race where he and his team could take the Constructors' Championship races early. And for Leclerc, him being so far down the order with so much damage, considering that Trackhouse is currently second in the championship, that is effectively it for their championship hopes, as in comes UK Ball. We expect Revo to be followed in as Catfish goes around the outside of his championship adversary. And this is the interesting part as Kubica, oh, that's Shen in the wall. Ray Shen hitting the barriers with front wing damage too. Kubica's got 10-second time penalty already. And even then, still stays out. This is the really interesting part. If Catfish finishes second today and Revo fails to score any points, Catfish will be the championship leader heading into Paris by a single point. Add to that the possibility of Techeetah still somehow wrapping up the championship today. And that gives you a very interesting prospect heading into the final rounds of the ERL's longest season. With, oh my goodness, 35 ERL sanctioned races and 23 races in its premier category. Thank God that they've decided to implement a race cap. Otherwise, these seasons might have ballooned to 40 races, possibly even 50 per category. As in, like, categories combined. But Falstad leads, off goes Catfish, front wing damage, and followed by Ica, who gets a 5-second time penalty for colliding with the back of the man currently second in the championship. Out of the race has gone UK Ball. UK Ball out of this. The Red Devils spun as well. Carnage here in Manila. And at half race distance, Falstad is the man at the front of the pack with so many other drivers pitting as well. We're watching Wallace lead his countrymen in Revo. And this race surely is going to be a 2-stop. Falstad comes out of the pits and still leads. Catfish does the smartest thing to do and comes out of the pits on hard compound tyres. He will come out behind Marcus Nelson, which right now nets him a P3 finish at the end of the day, not just because of Kubica's time penalty as Babinis Jr. comes in to serve his, but also look at the state of the Mercedes-Benz tyres. He's gonna have no grip, especially through that final twisty section of the track, that being turns 10 through 16. You need as much grip as you humanly can have to make it through there without any threats. Revo is up into 8th position ahead of Zach Wallace right now. Gasly currently defending from Sanchez and attacking Catfish. defending from Sanchez and attacking Catfish, yes, and Sanchez at his home race alongside his teammate needs a good result as Kubica gets passed by Catfish. You can see further back Wallace and Revo fighting Scuttle and Rossack, but we're not fighting that as the Italian triple champion getting a fastest second sector and shoved off the track for Wallace and into the wall goes Kubica! Wallace up into 5th and Sanchez is out of this. Remy LeBeau, 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Both he and Ica World ran into the side of him, but Remy's the one with front wing damage now. And Das Sanchez at his home race is out. Not the day in the office he would have wanted to have, and with all that damage and with all that tyre wear, Kubica has one option, and that is to pit. All of that has put Revo up into 6th. As it currently stands, with Catfish scoring 15 points and Revo scoring 8, the current swing in the championship would be 7 points. Make that 5. As up into 5th position goes Revo to now score a net 10 points. He wouldn't be extending his championship lead, he'd be maintaining it effectively. As here comes Gasly to get past not just Catfish but also Nelson. That's P2 for the Frenchman. Ocampo at his home race, track limits warning, he drops to 13th. And Revo, he's 2 seconds off the back of his championship adversary. Marcus Nelson weaving on the back, into the wall goes Gasly. Gasly spears into the wall. Front wing damage at the wazoo as 5-second time penalty awarded to Zach Wallace. And Revo now moves up into 4th position. The gap, the swing in the championship now closes to 3 points. 3 points swing in the championship currently as into the pits comes Gasly. This, of all the things I've seen in this championship, is absolutely insane. There goes Revo! Revo moves up into 3rd. He would increase his championship lead to 21 points. Add 5 to that. 26 points is now the gap in the championship as he's overtaken his teammate Catfish, playing a game of catch up, setting it down the inside on Marcus Nelson to now score a net 15 points compared to the 18 that Revo is currently about to score. But here comes Catfish going alongside the Italian side by side and taking 2nd position as if to say, you may take my championship, but it's not going to come to you easy as Cosmas Padisis out of this race on the wall. That is unusual. Full course yellow, 4 laps to go. Haven't mentioned the race leader too often today, and that's because I really haven't needed to, because Oscar Falstad has been driving a truly magnificent race all day. If there's any man who deserves this race win, it's Falstad. Is into the pits for his 2nd stop comes Revo. We saw last time out in Santiago, Catfish attempting to do a 2-stopper, didn't quite work out. They're trying to do the same thing at Techeetah. However, unlike Santiago, this track requires a lot more grip. In comes Scuttle and Rossack. 10 laps on those hards, so Catfish doesn't even need to worry about doing the 2-stop. For Revo right now, it's all about making sure that he can score at least 1 point so he can still be leading the championship, at least on countback, heading into the final 2 rounds. So you can see him defending from Ray Shen. Shen almost outside. He's currently fighting over 12th and he's up into 12th position. Slow moving Marcus Nelson, who's got a lot of wear on those mediums. Wallace with that 5-second time penalty, he should be able to make it to the end of this race. If you are currently on the hard compound tyres, you should be able to make it to the end. This man awful, Catfish. Unlike his name, he's been driving a pretty good race today. 3 to go. As you can see, Nelson struggling. Nelson into the wall. He went airborne for a half-second there. Yellow's in the 30s. He's been hit by Zach Wallace. 10-second time penalty to the Italian. Track's been cleared. And yet, Nelson is likely to stop and come into the pits. He does for his 2nd stop. I'm pretty sure that Techeetah were planning for him to come in anyway. As is that Revo moving up the order? It is. Revo up to P9. Currently, as it stands, he moves up to P8 with Wallace's 10-second time penalty. He'd be scoring 4 points to Catfish's 18. That would leave the championship currently in a much better place for Revo than before. In fact, he sends it down the inside on Ocampo to take. He's not ahead of Ocampo, sorry, that's in front of Leclerc to take 8th. So looking to try and get past Ocampo as Wallace drops to 4th, sends it down the inside on the double champion, gets a little bit of a nudge. Second track limits warning for 76 as Revo trying to slice and dice his way through the field. He's gonna get pushed off by the Red Devil, and yet still with attack mode and charge up into 5th position with the fastest second sector of anyone. 2 to the checkered flag, and Catfish, he's currently scoring 18 points. Revo is currently scoring 12. The swing in the championship is 6 points as it stands. And oh, yellows in the third. Who's that for? Bogdasarov's had a faster second sector, and it's for Leclerc. Leclerc with damage. Fastest lap to Revo, a 1:14.366. For both championship contenders here in Manila, it's been an absolutely inspired round for both of them as Romulo Bo comes into the pits too. And for Revo, as it currently stands, he's looking at losing that championship lead, lowering it to 11 points. But for Catfish, the championship is currently still alive. For Trackhouse Racing and their hopes of taking the constructors away from Techeetah, unfortunately, it does not look possible. It's looking as if the French-Chinese team is headed to their second home race as the championship winners in terms of the constructors, while trying to take the drivers on the same day. 13 of 14, the penultimate lap here in Manila within the Philippines. One of the greatest archipelagos to go to in terms of electric racing. Always love racing around here. All the drivers love the track, and yellows in the third on board with Marcus Nelson will probably catch up to it out of the race, and that is Tenali Gabo in what could be his final race in the Philippines. He is out. And for the Italian man who will be giving up his seat to Romulo Bo, that is certainly not what he wants to see. Of course, he retires on his own volition, but it is still not an enviable position to be in. Full course yellows are ending. And get back underway at long last. Volstad, however, still leading this, still leading by a wide margin. And for the Norwegian driver, he's had little luck this season, and his lack of luck continues. He's in the wall, front wing damage, but he's 8 seconds ahead. Revo moves up into third position. Catfish has to get a move on. He has to close up to Volstad as soon as possible because his biggest championship rival is in third again. He's in prime position to only have that championship lead of his cut down to 14 points compared to what it could have been otherwise. We're on to the final lap. Iker Lotz, track limits warning, his third of the day. Gets another one of those, and it's a slam dunk 5-second time penalty. In terms of the championship outlook, as it stands, doesn't matter what happens now. DS Techeetah, I can just effectively confirm this right now. Techeetah are looking as if they will be your world constructors champions as Shen's heading off at the chicane. 15% tire wear. He's going to struggle on this last lap. So will Volstad. I'm sure everyone at Sims is hoping that Catfish can leave Manila with the win and have Volstad still finish in second. So the gap in the championship closes by 10 points to only 7. Off has had Zach Wallace. Wallace has had an off, but for this man, Volstad, who moves through the final sector now. He's struggling with those mediums. He's got no grip with those mediums. He's into the wall on the mediums. Here comes Catfish, a second off. He's into the lead. Catfish takes the lead on the last lap to take a massive chunk out of Revo's championship lead. Catfish wins in Manila from Falstad and Revo. Yellows, oh, that's so many drivers off. Wallace and Ica World in first Theo. Ocampo at home moves up into 5th position. He can make it 3rd if he can just close up to Ica enough. Gasly's off. Oh my goodness, Bogdasarov's and off. So many drivers go airborne. Stalin Rossack is on his side. First Theo is out of this race. And it's a full course yellow to end this Manila E3. I think I've lost everything I had in my lungs. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this race has been absolutely hectic. As Wallace, that little sliver of a slide he had earlier on, that really compromised him. Kubica, he's got tons of front wing damage, but will come across the line in 13th, and Shen will be the last of the finishers, we believe. But he's still got tons of damage. 1%, he's gonna have a puncture. Shen's hit 0. Ray Shen has hit 0, 9% car damage, and he's got nothing left with his tires. He's got a puncture, rear puncture for the number 33 as he comes to the line. Carnage. That's all I can say. Carnage. That is the word of the day. This is the podium, however. Catfish, at the last moment, wins the Manila E3 from Oscar Falstad and Revo. Then it's Ica World, Sebastian Ocampo at home from Marcus Nelson and Zach Wallace. Then it's Pierre Gasly, the Red Devil, Babinus Jr., Leclerc, Romulo Boat, Kubica, Shen, and to start your non-finishers, Scuddling Rossack, followed by Theo and Bogdasarov. Then it's Gabo, Medicis, Sanchez, Ucable, and Sierra. In the driver's standings, well, can't fault my mathematical abilities now, can you? Revo leads on 195 points. That's 7 more than Catfish. Following them is Marcus Nelson and Leclerc. Then it's Romulo Boat, Gasly, Ocampo, Ica World, Bogdasarov, Sanchez versus Theo, teammate Kubica. Then it's Babinus Jr., Wallace, the Red Devil, Ray Shen, Falstad, Ucable, Sierra, Gabo, Medicis, and Scuddling Rossack. In the constructors' standings, heading into the penultimate round in Paris. Well, with the gap standing at 104 points, DS Techeetah are your World Constructors Champions, followed by Trackhouse Mercedes, who are only 13 points ahead of Sims Porsche. Then it's DS Andretti, Kiro Porsche, Mercedes EQ, Power Renault, Team Edams Renault, DS Venturi Formula E Team, McLaren Mercedes, and Nissan Nismo. Well then, we've got 4 more rounds left in the ERL schedule with the IndyCar Series heading to Detroit and then Laguna Seca, and this, the Formula E Series, headed to Paris and Tokyo. Hope you'll join us for those final 4 conclusive rounds of the first and 22nd rounds of the ERL IndyCar Series and the ERL Formula E Series. But from all of us here at BDS Formula One Motorsports, thank you for watching.